Today's story is about something very special: first love. It is the kind of love that makes your heart beat faster, that makes you smile for no reason, and that stays in your memory forever. Let me tell you Sarah's story, her first love with Daniel. My name is Sarah. I was 16 when I met Daniel. He was new in my school. He had dark hair, warm brown eyes, and the kindest smile I had ever seen. From the very first day, I felt something different about him. At the beginning, we didn't talk much. Daniel was quiet and shy. But one day in the science class, our teacher gave us a group project. Daniel and I were in the same group. That was the first time we really spoke. He was smart, funny, and thoughtful. When he explained ideas, he made them sound simple. I remember thinking, why didn't I talk to him earlier? After that, we slowly became friends. We started studying together in the library, sitting at the same table with our notebooks and books spread out. Sometimes we worked, but most of the time, we just talked and laughed. We also walked home after school. On the way, we shared our favorite songs, stories, and dreams. I loved how Daniel listened to me. It felt like every word I said mattered. One rainy afternoon, we were sitting under the school shelter, waiting for the rain to stop. The sound of the rain was loud and the air was cool. Daniel looked at me and asked softly, Sarah, do you believe in love? I laughed nervously and said, maybe. Why? He smiled and whispered, because I think I'm falling in love with you. My heart skipped a beat. I looked into his eyes and said, I think I'm falling in love with you too. That was the moment everything changed. From then on, Daniel and I were inseparable. On weekends, we rode our bikes through the park, watched movies at the cinema, and sometimes just sat on a bench talking about our future. He made me laugh until my cheeks hurt. He wrote me little notes like, "You're the best part of my day," and left them in my locker. On my birthday, he gave me a silver bracelet. He said, "So you always have something from me." I wore it every single day. Of course, love is not always easy. We had small fights sometimes about silly things like homework or who forgot to call. Once we argued and didn't talk for a whole week. I cried every night, thinking I might lose him. But Daniel always came back. He would say, "I can't stay mad at you, Sarah." We hugged, we forgave, and we promised to be better. Each fight only made us stronger. Then came the hardest day of my life. Daniel told me his family had to move to another country because of his father's new job. I felt like the ground disappeared under my feet. On his last day, we went to the park where we always met. We sat on the grass, holding hands, watching the sunset. Neither of us spoke much. We just cried quietly, afraid to say goodbye. Before leaving, Daniel hugged me tightly and whispered, "You will always be my first love." After he left, I felt empty. I missed him every day. I kept his letters, his little notes, and the bracelet he gave me. At first, we wrote letters and talked on the phone. We shared stories about our new lives, but slowly the letters came less often, and the calls became shorter. Life was pulling us in different directions. Deep down, I knew we had to let go, but my heart still held on. Years passed. I finished school, went to college, and started a new life. I met new friends and even fell in love again. But no matter what, I never forgot Daniel. He was the boy who taught me what love truly feels like: the excitement, the laughter, and even the pain. One evening, many years later, I opened an old box of letters. Inside, I found Daniel's very first note to me. It said, "You make my world brighter." I smiled through my tears. In that moment, I understood that our love was something pure and unforgettable. Today, I am happy. I have new love and a joyful life. But Daniel will always hold a special place in my heart. He was my first love. The love that taught me to care deeply, to dream big, to laugh freely, and to cry honestly. First love never really leaves us, it becomes part of who we are. My first love was Daniel, and though we went different ways, his memory will always stay with me, a beautiful chapter of my heart. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.